Listen, if I was to become an adult in Africa, I was never going to get married. I was going to be the most useless daughter to my father. In short, I was going to tell my father ahead of time, Daddy, you are not going to eat any bride price on top of my head. You are not going to be receiving any ghosts on top of my head. I'm going to be your overgrown daughter in your house. And I am officially going to be the one to bring you shame because I am never going to settle down. I am never going to get married. All I was going to focus on was my education and later on have a good job. And maybe if I decide to have kids, I was going to find one guy, I was going to have 1 or 2 kids with him and just tell him that, sir, bye-bye. And I will take care of those kids by myself. And if he wants to be in the kid's life, well, so be it. But for me to go and entangle myself with a man, it was never ever going to happen. I was never going to get married if I was in Africa. Because even as a young girl, the kind of things that I got to see, I was like, nah. In my heart, in my mind, it was already engraved and signed that if I grew up in Africa, if I become an adult in Africa, I am never going to get married. I already had that in me. So when I saw people saying, when you get old, you cannot wait to get your bride price. You cannot wait to get cows over your head and everything. I was just looking at them. In my head, I'll be like, who's going to get married? You people should be there. So like I was saying, if I was to grow up in Africa, I was never ever going to get married. In Canada, yeah, I don't mind because I know that, okay, women have rights. You know, they have laws in place to protect women and children, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Why in Africa is the total opposite. And the reason why I'm saying that if I was in Africa, I would never get married is because growing up, I come from Cameroon. The little time I got to spend in Cameroon, I have never ever seen a marriage that I can even be like, the marriage is credible or anything. And even the few ones that used to go for like vacations and all that stuff that I used to see, that used to be like, damn, this marriage, at least they are trying. This marriage is credible, you know. They have all that shit together, all that kind of stuff. Later on, when I got to grow up, the kind of things that I got to find out, I was like, nah. Basically, in Africa, the women just get to endure so much for those marriages to be able to survive. And I was like, me, I ain't taking part in this. I do not have the energy for all this endurance. Just so that at the end of the day, sometimes around 50 years later on, they're going to say, she was married for 60 years. I'm married for 60 years of what? 6 years of torture, 6 years of crying, 6 years of depression. No, thank you very much. I don't want that for myself. Like I said, growing up in Cameroon, I haven't seen any credible marriage, especially I come from the French side of Cameroon. The French side of Cameroon is even worse because the English side they even have some moral values and some cultural things that they do follow and all that kind of stuff. But the French side of Cameroon, over there, is everybody do as they please. So for me, getting married in Africa, in Cameroon, was a no for me. Then when I entered a plane now to come to Canada, I was like, okay, now there is a chance. And you know, there is this funny thing. I have an aunt in Europe that I usually talk with once in a while. And this my aunt is always like, oh, Linda, when are you going to have children? You know, you don't necessarily have to be married to have children. Just find a guy and have children, all that kind of stuff. And me, I'll tell her, no, auntie. I think if I was in Africa, no problem. But now that I'm in Canada, no, I want to get married, I want to have a family, I want to have my kids in the family because I didn't have that. Even I myself, I was abandoned by my father. So, the way my father abandoned me with my mother, and the way I saw my mother struggling through life to take care of me, that is another thing that made me to say, I will never ever get married because of what I saw her going through. So every time I talk with her, my auntie, she's always like, you know, whether you get married, you don't get married, especially with African men, every child that you give birth to, you know that you're giving birth to that child for yourself first, right? And I was like, what do you mean by that? She's like, my daughter, in the African community, as long as you marry your African brother, every single child that you give birth to, I want you to know that that child is going to be your responsibility. Because, you know, a man is always going to be a man. A woman is always going to be a woman. A mother is always going to be a mother. And when I asked her, what do you mean by that? She's just going to be laughing. So me, I got to understand that she's basically telling me that just know that whether you're married, you're not married, a man can just decide tomorrow to just wake up and untangle himself from you and leave you with 4 or 5 kids behind. And you'll be forced to fetch for them. You'll be forced to take care of them because you're the mother and because you're a woman. So basically, she was just telling me that do not expect much from marriage. So for me, I was like, at the back of my mind, I was like, for this lady, this experienced lady, to be telling me that this one that is coded like that, there are a lot of things in between those codes that need to be decrypted. And me, I was decrypting everything that she was saying. And you know, when we talked, I was like, you know what, auntie, I don't even mind if I get married and a man leaves me. Like I said, there are laws in place to protect women and children. He's not just going to leave me. Unless he no longer wants to be in Canada, he's not just going to wake up one day and just leave me with the children and just disappear like that. No, you have to pay for child support. And if he doesn't want to pay for child support, there's going to be repercussions and punishments that are going to come with that. Unless he goes back home forever and never comes back here. But as long as he's here, he's going to have to assist me with those children. As long as he's in Canada, I don't have any issues getting married and having children. Or I also have no issues if I don't get married and I decide to have children, have my children and take care of them. And another reason why if I was to be in Africa, I wouldn't have gotten married is because in Africa, when you go to the court registry, they tell you monogamy or polygamy. It doesn't matter if you choose monogamy. In Africa, it doesn't matter. Your husband can still come to you 4-10 years after and tell you that I'm bringing in the second wife for this and this and for so and so reason and everything. And you have no choice. All you have to do is that you just have to go and marry the woman traditionally. Because in Africa, it's traditional marriage we care about. And there are still some foolish women and mumu women around that are so desperate for marriage that they will not even care if the man is already married. They will just want to find a place to belong. So if your man goes and proposes to them, they are going to go ahead and get married just because they are hungry bitches. So for me, in Africa, another reason why I will not get married is because monogamy doesn't mean anything. You get married, monogamy today. Like I said, 4 to 10 years after, you're going to come and say, I want to have another wife. Since you don't want to give me 10 kids, you have given me 5. Let me go and get another wife so she can complete, she can give me the other 5. Then you do that again. Then you bring another reason again. Me and you're not letting me touch you very well again. So I want to bring another woman now so that she can compliment you in the touching. There's always going to be something. So for me, that's another reason why if I was in Africa, I will not get married. Because that monogamy status, some of you feel like by signing monogamy, everything is going to belong to you tomorrow. You have access to his properties and all that kind of stuff. But like, oh man, Africa, they are very foolish. They even get married to you monogamy now. They'll go and get married to somebody in the USA. They'll go and get married to somebody in France. They'll go and get married to somebody in the UK. So at the end of the day, that monogamy bullshit, it doesn't mean anything. And they'll be the same ones giving birth to children all over the place. And you know, another reason is this. African men cheat a lot. I know there are a few faithful ones, but African men, especially the ones back home, they cheat a lot. And they cheat so much to the point that now the only way that women will be able to keep them aligned is by going diabolical. That is the only way. I see a lot of stories online. If you can see women, that the only option they have now is to go diabolical to be able to keep their husband aligned and to be able to keep their marriage safe. My dear, I don't want to take part in that. Why do I have to go diabolical to keep a grown adult aligned? What am I? Am I his mother? But I understand they are doing that because they're trying to protect their children's heritage. Because one side chick now just needs to come into and go and use Babalawo on your husband now. Your husband is gone. All your heritage, everything you guys have worked for is gone. So a lot of women, before that happens to them, they choose to go diabolical. But me, I don't have the strength to go diabolical to be able to maintain a man. If I'm not able to use God, the creator, I don't have the strength. There's even no point for me to even enter there and to put myself in that kind of situation. And back home too, because a lot of men cheat back home. You know, a lot of men like to be dishing out what they cannot take. So because they know they are cheaters, some of them too, they go diabolical to tie their wives. So that their wives too, in case their wife steps out on them, either you see the woman getting sick or you see the woman dying. On that side, you see her should go and climb on the man's banana. The man's banana is going to stay there forever. They'll have to go and call one babalawo, or they have to go and call one priest to come and pray, to come and remove the banana from the pitch and all that kind of stuff. So because of all this mischievousness and all this deviousness, please, I don't want to partake in it. It's just better for me to stay by myself and just have a good time in my life. Spare me the headache. And you know, another thing is this. As time goes by, a lot of men in Africa are gay. I don't have an issue with somebody being gay. I don't have an issue with it. But the thing is this. Come out clean. Even if you're to come to me, tell me that, Valerie, I'm a gay guy, but my parents want me to get married and all that kind of stuff. And me, Valerie, I like money. I like good things. And if I want to be with you, I'm going to be like, okay, you're a gay guy, So you're just getting married to me to camouflage things and everything. This is what's going to happen. We are going to get married just for people's eyes, just for family and all that kind of stuff. Politics. We'll be in the same house together. You be living your life. Just make sure that you never get caught. And me too, I'll be in that home and I'll be living my own life. If you come out to me and tell me, no problem. Not that you be gay. You know that you like to be constantly going at the back. You come and get married to me, you don't tell me. And later on in life, you get to have a couple of kids and I get to find out that you're gay. I don't want that kind of thing for my life. And that is what a lot of women nowadays are getting to find out. You get married to a man now, every day he's telling you back. I don't like front. I like things tight. You get to realize that your man is a faggot. Or your man now bends a certain type of way now. You see that he's shape now. Instead of looking like, I don't know, it's beginning to look like one twisted mango. You start having voices in your head and your intuition confirming to you that this man is a faggot. So for me, I don't want to go through that kind of thing. Even if I'm to go through it, let me be aware of it and let me make a choice to still go for it. Not that you come and marry me as a man, have children, for me to tomorrow get to find out that you have been a faggot the whole time. My kids to get to find out that you were a faggot. And you have been doing all your faggoting things. And you have been coming home. And I have been using my buccal cavity to be going down on you. Hey! No. Please, I don't want marriage. Just because of that, please. If I was to be in Africa, I will not get married. Because in Africa, they like to pretend. They like to be pretending. As when I into this thing, this is diabolical. A lot of them, faggots, gay. Just come out and tell somebody that the person make their choice. Don't be a faggot and you can't marry somebody's daughter. You put her in the house, every day you're Bengali here, Bengali there. Hey! No. Only for that, me, I will not marry. And another reason why I will not even want to bother with marriage in Africa is this. I will not want to bother with marriage because of this thing that they call in-laws. Handling in-laws in Africa is too much headache. Please. Ain't nobody got time for that. You're already handling their son and you have to be handling the whole battalion. Handling in-laws in Africa, the fakeness, nothing is authentic, nothing is real, it's just fake till you make it and fake to survive. I ain't got time for that shit, man. Most times, they're always attempting to ruin things for you. It doesn't matter if you're kind, it doesn't matter if you give them the whole world. The only time they will not be able to obtain something from their son is you, the woman. Everything in Africa is the woman. So for me, just because of that in-law business, please, I will not get married. Sometimes you see in marriages, the man is the one stressing the woman the most. And later on in life, the man is the one that lives so long. But the woman is the one that comes to die. And they always die, all these things, cancer, all kinds of hypertension, high blood pressure. Please, I don't want that for myself. In-laws, too much headache in Africa. You will find them always setting traps for you. It doesn't matter how kind you are. You are kind today. Tomorrow, just because of one small no that you said, everything you have ever done for them is destroyed. And if you are unfortunate and your husband gets to pass away without putting things in place, maybe you guys have built so many houses and everything, have businesses and everything, have money, different bank accounts, have lands here and there and everything, and unfortunately maybe he died young and he didn't have enough time to put things in place. You are going to be in a big mess. That's what I say. If I was to be in Africa, I will not get married. I don't want to be dealing with my family headache, your family headache, my children's headache, your headache. It's just too much headache for me. So please, max, like I said, I was just going to find one guy somewhere, pop 1 or 2 kids, take care of my kids. If he wants to be in the life, fine. If he doesn't want to be in the life, fine. I wouldn't really care. But I don't want to be dealing with your whole battalion of witches and wizards. I find it very draining and I don't want to deal with that. When your husband passes away, there's no assurance of safety. All those your hungry, useless uncles, they're going to come for you. And some of them even, they go diabolical to be able to obtain those things from you. So for me, I don't know. Marriage in Africa, marriage in Cameroon was going to be a no for me. The only way I can get married is abroad here. And that is because the woman and children, laws are put in place to protect us. But apart from that, I was never, ever going to get married. Marriage back home is just too torturous and not encouraging. And like I said, I had so many aunts and uncles that I saw growing up and I was like, I know them, their marriage is good, you know, they have it all figured out and everything. I know it's not perfect and all that kind of stuff. Then when I got to get old, I was like, nah. Some of those women, ended up developing ailments because throughout their marriage, too much stress, always crying, always overthinking, always mourning. No. I ain't got time for that. And I ain't got time for a man to come and entangle me with children. Then you're gonna have children outside. Then you're just having side chicks all over the place. So what is the point of me getting married to you? So like I said, me, if I was to grow up in Cameroon and become an adult in Cameroon, I was going to tell my father ahead of time, I'm going to be your most overgrown mango in the house. You're not going to eat any goat or cow on top of my head. You're not going to eat any dairy. So just go and tell your brothers that they're not going to eat anything on top of my head, because I'm one of the most useless daughters you have given birth to. Because marriage in Africa is a lot of headache. And I wasn't going to be willing to partake in that. I love myself so much. So either I was going to be one useless auntie in the family to everybody's eyes, and I was going to be the best auntie to my siblings' children, take care of them and everything, do what I gotta do for my siblings. Or even if I was to want to have my own children, like I said, I was going to find one guy that I feel like, okay, he's fit to be the father of my kids. Have 1 or 2 kids with him. If he wants to be in the life, fine. If he doesn't want to be in the life, fine. But let me know that I have my peace of mind. I have my sanity. Let me know that I'm not dealing with any in-laws. Let me know that nobody's coming home every day and telling me, what stew did you cook today? What did you warm up today? Constantly cleaning after my mess, cleaning after myself, cleaning after him. And for all those things not to be appreciated, having a whole bunch of crazy male friends coming around every time, having to cook for them. When they start drinking their alcohol, start talking to you anyhow, always telling your husband how this and this. Please, if I was to become an adult in Africa, I was not going to get married. So my parents, they should be thanking God that they got to bring me abroad, because now I can marry now. I can, take away the shame from their faces and everything, but it still doesn't mean anything. Any man that gives me headache, I'm out. There's nothing like managing. I'm not managing anything. I don't like stress. I don't like disease. It's not healthy. So it's what it is. So that is it. If I was to be in Africa, no marriage for Lindaval. Canada, no problem. We get married and us being abroad here, most of our in-laws are back home and everything. So everything is long distance. Everything is on the phone. Even when they're giving you a headache, you just know that, okay, let me just manage. Let me just fake it. Just whatever it is. But to be right there in the same city as them, for me to know that they can just take the next night bus and land in my house anytime. No, I don't want. No. I don't want that kind of thing. In Africa, they keep the marriages to yourself. Country like Cameroon now, where I come from, every time I go back to visit, see, baby mamas everywhere. Married today, divorced tomorrow. Married today, father has escaped. Father is nowhere to be found. Please, just see baby mamas everywhere. Women and children, no father. Any woman you meet, are you married? Yes, I'm married. Where's your husband? I haven't seen him in the past 10 years, so he left me now to go and stay with that lady, to go and stay with my neighbor. Please. Marriage in Africa? No, for me. It was already engraved, sealed, and signed in my heart. It's just that, the universe. I was just lucky and found myself in Canada, so I'm very thankful. And even if I'm to get married, I know that it's going to be less torture, because the man knows that he has to stay aligned, because this is not Africa. If he wants to do me wayo somehow like this, I'm going to pin him somewhere and understand what is happening to him. I like to be truthful and honest with myself. Instead for me to settle down for a man now, marry the man, go into his family and cause a whole bunch of havoc and disaster, it is preferable for me to know myself and just stay out of it. Because in Africa there, I never wanted to get married. If I force myself and choose a man and get married to him, like I said, me, I don't have patience and endurance for a lot of things. So instead for me to go and cause chaos for him in his family and to be devious, because 2 things are going to happen. Me, I'm the type of person that when something is not interesting me, I don't give a shit. You are going to keep trying to get my focus. You will not get my focus. Or if you get to get my focus and I see that I'm being messed with, I can become very devious. So to prevent myself from going to those places, that is why I say it would be better for me to just stay out of marriage and stay off marriage, because I don't want to destroy anything for anybody. I don't want to destroy anyone's son's life. I don't want to come into your family and ruin whatever bonds you have, and also ruin your friendships. That is why I know myself. And if I was to be in Africa, those are the reasons why I was never going to marry. Because if I get married, there is going to be trouble. Because Lindaval can be very gullible. But when messed around with, Lindaval becomes Cameroon Pepe. So let me know your thoughts down below. As a woman, that's if you're presently abroad, if you were to be in Africa, were you going to get married? Were you going to find marriage useful and all that kind of stuff? Let me know down below. Because like I said, for me, Africa, marriage, no, nada. Thank you very much. Not interested.